I'm Alicia Young. My pronouns are she and her. And today I'm going to guide you through a water yoga sequence, a single noodle sequence. There will be a couple situations where we might bring in a second noodle, so have 2 pool noodles handy. And this is the book that I'm sharing from today, Water Yoga by Krista Fairbrother. She's given me permission to make a video for this single noodle sequence. So you can go ahead and start to gather up all the equipment that you might need. Again, 2 pool noodles. Most of the time we'll be using 1, but you might like to have the second one for extra support. You can have your hat, sunglasses. You might like a top to help keep the sun off the skin. So whatever you need to feel comfortable in your pool. The water depth is preferable about mid-height, but make do with whatever type of pool you have on hand. And I'm going to be practicing with you today on the native lands of the Tunaka, Spokane, and Shuswap tribes, now known as Spokane, Washington. As far as the tradition of yoga is concerned, I always like to acknowledge that the practice of yoga originated thousands of years ago in ancient India and has been passed down from teacher to student. I wish to thank my teachers, Land Yoga and Krista with Water Yoga, that have chosen to share their knowledge with me so that I can be here to hold space for you as you explore your own water yoga practice. And please know that anything that I offer today are simply invitations, but please follow your own bodily wisdom, your own inner teacher, and let that be your primary guide for our time together today. So let's go ahead and get into the water, have both noodles handy. We're going to start with a larger body warm-up, since it can be easy to get cold in the pool, so we have to take some of those extra things into consideration when we're working in the pool. So let's take one of the noodles, thread it between the legs, so that you're sitting on the bottom noodle like a bicycle. You're always welcome to just work with one noodle underneath. If you'd like a little more support, you can thread a second noodle underneath. Start to lower down into the water to see if you feel like this single noodle is going to hold you. And if you don't have the second noodle underneath of you, you can bring it out front like handlebars on your bicycle. Lower down into the water, let that bottom noodle support you, and then start to lift the toes off the pool floor, bending into the knees, moving the legs and feet as if you were pedaling a bicycle. If this is something that's newer to you, maybe you're not as comfortable in the water, you're always welcome to keep a hand on the pool deck. You could add more noodles to your support, so please adapt this so that you feel comfortable. But right now we're looking to warm up the body so that you can be more comfortable in the pool if your water has a little bit of chill to it. And we can start to come into the present moment and focus on what we're feeling here. Eyes can stay open or closed, or you can cast your gaze down. Again, whatever's most comfortable for you, depending on your comfort level in the water. We want to do whatever is going to make your nervous system feel the most safe in this situation. So I'd like to invite in the intention for the practice today. May I explore the known and the unknown. So this may be your first time practicing water yoga. So there will be some things that you might find will be similar to land yoga, but many things will feel very different, even if they're a similar posture. The viscosity of the water, the buoyancy of the body, the hydrostatic tension, all of this will change your experience. to your body and your breath. So see if you can keep your mind open to exploring the things you knew on land and then how they might change now in the water. You can start to feel into the support of the noodle beneath you. That might be a place that you can find a sense of grounding. You can feel into the feet. Feel what it feels like to be moving the feet through the water. Do you notice the water line? Feeling the head and neck above the waters, maybe parts of the shoulders above the water. And what does it feel like for the parts of the body that are in the water? What differences do you notice? If you'd like to get the arms into this, you're welcome to release one or both arms, moving the hands and arms through the water, and noticing what that feels like. Being open to all of these new sensations in the water. And what differences, if any, do you notice in your breath pattern? Letting your breath settle into whatever natural rhythm is present for you in this moment. And notice how having a good part of the body submerged, especially in the torso, notice how that might change how your breath feels. And we're coming at this from more of an observing and witnessing perspective. We're not trying to pass any judgment. We're simply giving the mind different things about our present moment experience to focus on. You might also start to pick up on sounds. I'm outside in my backyard. We have traffic nearby, the sound of airplanes. So this isn't maybe as quiet of an environment as you might be used to. So see if you can greet that with compassion and gentleness as well. Allowing the sounds to arise, change, dissolve, and pass away in their own time. If you've been going forward with your noodle bicycle, you can reverse the legs and pedal backwards. It's a little more of a challenge for the brain too. You can switch from going forward and then going back for a few strokes. The primary objective of these movements here is to get you comfortable with the buoyancy of the noodles, get the body warmed up. And start to notice how you're feeling. When you're ready, let's go ahead and plant both feet on the pool floor. Press into the feet to rise up. You can release the noodle from between the legs. If you were using 2 noodles for your bicycle, you can set 1 noodle aside for now. We'll primarily be working with 1 noodle. And so the first thing that we want to start to work with is our home base pose, our mountain pose, or Tadasana. So let's start with the feet about hip bone distance apart. The outside of your hips, where the flesh of the hips is, that's wider than hip bone distance. So your hip bones are in a bit further. You can even use the hands to feel where their hip bones are, and then go ahead and start with the feet parallel and about hip bone distance apart. If the thighs are feeling too compressed here, that's probably your cue to take the feet just a bit wider and make space for the body in any way that you need to. And then also feel into the feet on the pool floor. You can rock forward and back, shift the weight side to side, and take that one noodle into gentle fists for support. You can put a little bit of pressure into the noodle to help you firm up support here. But we're also looking for some imaginary points under the feet, the triangle of support under each foot. Points under the ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe, center of the heel. So see if you can find that center of balance there. You might even try lifting all the toes up off the pool floor and then setting them back down. Let the spine lengthen up tall, the shoulders relax down. Let the arms and hands be supported by the noodle. And you might even invite in a gentle tuck of the chin towards the throat to lengthen the back of the neck. Let's take a few breaths here to notice how you feel. Notice how just standing here in water is a very different experience than standing on land. You can check in, notice if there are any areas of tension or gripping that you can invite to release here. Softening the jaw, the tongue, the lips. And I also find that I tend to hold quite a bit of tension from the mid to lower back down through my bum when I'm standing. So I'm going to check in there, see if I can let any of that go, or at least start to unravel some of that tension. So this is going to be a posture that we return to kind of as our home base throughout the practice today. So get a lot of chances to practice this position. So with your next inhale, continue to let the spine lengthen up, the shoulders soften down, and then on the next exhale, start to twist the torso towards the left, letting your noodle follow along. Inhale, unwind back to center, and then exhale, twisting the opposite direction, moving the noodle across the surface of the water. So as you move, if you start to lose your balance, you can start to lift the toes off the pool floor again, set them back down. Sometimes I can help you find your center of gravity on the pool floor. And let the knees be soft. And then start to become aware of any differences if you've twisted on land. Notice any differences. There likely will be many between twisting on land and what it feels like to twist in the water. Let's go ahead and do one more each side. You can allow your gaze to come along with your twist as much as feels right with your neck today. And then let's come back to center. So either taking that hip bone distance apart with the feet or taking a wider stance. You can try both, whatever feels best here. Noodle in the hands. On your next inhale, let's bring the noodle up overhead. Shoulders and arms can be as wide as is working for your shoulders today. And then on the exhale, let one side of the noodle get heavy towards the water, bringing the other arm up and over alongside the head. pressing into the feet. Inhale back up. And exhale, leaning to the other side. So you can go ahead and move here at your own pace, linking the breath and the movement. Whatever the pace of your breath today, that can guide the pace of your movement. And this is your practice. It's up to you how much you lean to the side, how wide you would like your base of support through the feet. But listening to the body, allowing it to tell you what feels right for this moment. Let's do one more to each side. And after your last one, let's exhale, release the noodle down. Let's let the noodle rest on the surface of the water. Release the hands, give the arms a shake out. Let's give the legs a little bit of a shake out too. And I'm going to turn to the side because I think it might be a bit easier for you to see. You can take the noodle in front of you again in both hands. Press the noodle into the water below the surface of the water, down close to your thighs. And this movement we're going to do here, we're going to put some weight into the noodle and come down into the water. So let's take a step back with the right foot as we start to bend into the left knee, lowering down in the water. And then when you're ready, let's take and step the left foot back to meet the right. Right now we're on the balls of the feet and the toes. They're planted onto the pool floor. Feet are flexed back towards the nose. Arms are straight down in the water. So we're going to start from this plank position. Let's play with flipping the toes over so that the tops of the toes are on the pool floor. Grinding down through the toenails. If this starts to cramp up your feet, no worries. Come back to the balls of the feet with the toes flat down on the pool floor. And then to get more of a back arc here, slowly allow your noodle to come a bit towards the surface of the water. You'll notice as you do this, I'm going to turn to the side here so you can see a little bit better. That's putting an arc into the back. So come wherever is comfortable for you. The higher up you come in the water with your noodle, the more that arc will move towards the top of your back. The lower down you are, the more it will move down towards the lower back. Or you bring your arms straighter down, that comes to more of a flat back. So see what's feeling good for you. If you want to turn the toes under, flip the toes so you're on the top of the foot. Let's take 3 full breaths here, letting the noodle support us. Bringing a little arc into the back. Let's bend into the right foot, bringing the right foot to the pool floor, stepping forward with the left foot to meet the right. And then let's come back into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So feet parallel, about hip bone distance apart. Find that triangle of support under the feet. Maybe lifting the toes off the pool floor, setting them back down. Softening the shoulders. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling. And then taking a gentle grip on the noodle. You can start about shoulder width distance or maybe a bit wider if that feels better for your shoulders. But adjust as needed. On your next inhale, let's bring the noodle forward and then up. And we're going to start to bring the noodle behind us. So let your hands slide as wide as they need to along the noodle. You can even let go of one side of the noodle as you bring your arms behind you. And then inhale, back up, and then exhale, forward and down. So let's try that a few more times. Both hands on the noodle, inhaling up. I'm going to start with a wider grip this time. See what that feels like. Inhale up, letting the arms get wide, hands slide along the noodle as far as they need to, or maybe let go. Exhale, dropping the noodle down behind me. Inhaling back up, and exhaling forward and down. So now that you have the idea, go ahead and move at your own pace. Grounding down through the pool floor, feeling the support beneath the feet. Taking the time to set your own pace here. Let's have this be the last one. And let's release the noodle, give the arms a shake, give the legs a shake out. And now we're going to move to a position here that will challenge the balance a bit more. So I'm going to turn to the side so you might have a better view. So let's find our Tadasana, our mountain pose, back to our home base. Feeling the triangle of support under both feet. Noodle in both hands in front of us. So grounding down into the left foot, start to put the weight into the left foot, enough that you can start to bend into the right knee, bringing the right foot off the pool floor, flexing the right foot back towards the rest of the body. So this is going to challenge your balance. If this is your first time doing this, maybe put your hand on the pool deck too. You can even hold the noodle in the right hand and use your left hand on the pool deck as you're grounding down through the left foot. Inhale, lifting the right leg, bending into the right knee, flexing the right foot back towards the rest of the body. And then start to bring the right foot behind you, either bringing the toes to the pool floor, or you can also flip the foot and have the top of the foot on the pool floor, but only if that's not cramping up the foot. For me, it's kind of cramping up the foot today. It's been hot here. I probably need to drink some more water. So I'm just going to bring the ball of my foot and my toes to the pool floor. So with your next inhale, bending into the right knee again, bringing the right knee up. Exhale, stepping back with the right foot, touching the toes down. So you can move through this at your own pace. If you want to add a different dynamic with the balance, you can take that left hand off of the pool deck, bring both hands to the noodle. And it's okay if you wobble on that left foot. Throughout your balancing practice, you'll find that you'll feel your foot flexing in different directions. But coming back to lifting the toes off the pool floor and feeling that triangle of support and then lowering the toes down can sometimes help you find the balance again. Softening through the shoulders, the jaw and the tongue and the lips. Let's do one more on this side. And then bring both feet to the pool floor. And let's go ahead and switch sides. So keeping in mind that once you switch sides, it may be a completely new experience. So if you'd like to start with the right hand on the pool deck this time, please go ahead and do that. And then start to root down through the right foot. Shifting the weight to the right, bending into the left knee to lift it up about hip height. Flexing the left foot back towards the rest of the body. And then exhale, bringing the left foot behind you, touching the toes down. Inhale, bending the left knee, left foot is flexed, toes towards the nose. Exhale, bringing the left foot behind. Moving at your own pace. Keeping your hand on the pool deck, or if you'd like, you can bring both hands to the noodle. It's a different type of balance challenge. Feel free to really take your time, moving slowly and mindfully. And once you start to feel even both sides, let's meet back in our mountain pose. I'm going to turn to face front. I think this one will be easier for you to see if I'm facing forward. So again, hand on the pool deck for support, both hands on the noodle, whichever you prefer. Let's ground down into the left foot again, shifting the weight into the left foot, and then bend into the right knee, bringing it up about hip height again, flexing the right toes back towards the nose. And now we'll start to open the right knee out like a book, and then close it back towards center. So inhaling as you open the knee out to the right, and exhaling as you close. Finding your pace here. If you lose your balance and come out, just reset and start again. I like to keep a little bit of a micro bend in that standing leg knee. That helps with my balance. You can also use a drishti, a point of focus, maybe gazing on a point on the pool floor or the pool deck a few feet in front of you. Sometimes when you rest your gaze on something stable, that can help you stabilize the rest of the body. Let's bring the right knee back through center, release both feet down, give the legs a shake out, and then we'll switch to the other side. So grounding down into the right foot, bending into the left knee, finding your balance on this side, which may be a completely different experience than the first side, so give yourself some grace here. Flexing the left toes back towards the nose. Inhale, opening the left knee out to the side, and exhale back to center. If you find your right hip is popping way out to the side, try to hug it back in towards the midline. So as we're coming back to our original intention, may I explore the known and the unknown. What differences are you noticing side to side with your balance? And how are you noticing that working in the water might change some things? It might be easier to bring your knee up to hip height with the added buoyancy in the water. Or maybe you are able to open your leg out to the side different than you do on land. So these are just things we can notice, helping to bring the mind and body into this moment. Once you start to feel even both sides, let's meet back into our Tadasana or mountain pose. Let's give the legs a shake out. And then let's take the feet wide, wider than shoulder distance. Let's turn the left toes out, at 90 degrees, turning the right toes, the back toes in a bit. Start to sink into the left knee. Noodle can come to the left hand. Arms are out on the surface of the water, about shoulder height. And you can gaze out over your noodle hand, letting the shoulders soften down. And once you get here, if you feel like you need to adjust your feet, the angle of your feet, go ahead and do so. But we're settling down into the bent left knee, also pressing out through the back of the right foot for our Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Let's take 3 full breaths here. With your next inhale, let's flip the grip on the noodle so that you're grabbing it from underneath. Bring the right hand back towards the right hip as you reach the noodle in the left hand up and over for our exalted or peaceful warrior. And then exhale the noodle back down, arms onto the surface of the water. Grip the top of the noodle now. Inhale, press the noodle into the water with the left hand reaching up and over with the right arm. You can let the right arm come alongside the ear as it's comfortable for our humble warrior or our side angle. Let's cartwheel the right fingers forward, make a circle, bring the arms back out to shoulder height, and let's flow through that one more time. So let's, on our inhale, flip the grip of the noodle, reach up with the left arm, right arm comes down toward the hip. Exhale the arms back to the surface of the water, grip the noodle on top. Inhale, press the noodle down towards the left thigh, reaching up and over with the right arm. And then exhale, both arms back to the surface of the water. Rotate the left toes to face forward, parallel with the right, and then let's switch sides. So turning the right toes out 90 degrees, left toes can turn in a bit as comfortable, and then bend into the right knee now. Bringing both arms out to the surface of the water. You can have some gentle pressure into the hands on the noodle and the surface of the water to assist with balance. Feeling the triangle of support under both feet, sinking into a bent right knee. Gazing out over the right fingertips. Let's take a breath here. Then flip the grip on the noodle so your grip is facing up. Inhale, reaching the right arm up with the noodle. Left hand comes down to the left thigh. And exhale, arms back out to shoulder height. Grip down on the noodle. Inhale, press the right hand down, reaching up and over with the left arm. Exhale, back to our Warrior 2. Let's flow through that one more time. Gripping the noodle underneath, reaching forward and up with the right hand. Left hand comes down to the thigh. Take a breath. Exhale the arms back down to the surface of the water. Grip the top of the noodle, press down with the right arm, reaching the left arm up and over alongside the head. And then exhale, back to Warrior 2. Let's turn the right toes in and heel toe the feet back together. Let's work on some more balance again, bringing both hands to the noodle, subbing out using the pool deck as you would like. Let's ground down into the left foot this time, shifting the weight into the left foot. Find that triangle of support under the left foot. And come onto the toes of the right foot, turning the right knee out. Start to bring the right heel in towards the standing left leg. You can keep your left foot flat on the floor, right foot kickstand out, ankle against the inside of the left leg. Or you're also welcome to lift the right foot off and press it into the side of the left calf and press the left calf back into the right foot. Having the foot land somewhere between the knee and the ankle, but not pushing against the inside of the knee. You can use your hands on the noodle, gently pressing down to help with your balance. Softening the shoulders, taking a few breaths to feel what this position feels like. It's fine to wobble, you're challenging your balance here. You can stay right here, or if you're feeling steady and you'd like to play, you can see what it feels like to lift the noodle off the surface of the water and overhead. There's lots of options here, so play as you would like. Taking a full breath. And when you're ready, let's lower the noodle back down if you had it up. Bring the right knee to face front again, and then bring both feet down to the pool floor. Let's give them a shake out. And we'll switch to the other side. So now grounding down through the right foot, coming on to the left toes, turning the left toes and knee out to the side, and then starting to slide the toes along the pool floor so you can bring the left ankle in towards the standing right leg. Staying right here with your kickstand, or you might choose to bring the left foot off the pool floor, pressing it into the standing right leg somewhere between the knee and the ankle. And then check in here using some gentle pressure into the noodle to help with your balance, softening the shoulders, jaw, and tongue. Are there differences in balancing side to side here? Coming at it from an exploratory mind frame. There's no need to judge any of these differences. Just coming back to observing. If you're feeling steady here, you may choose to lift the noodle up overhead. If you do, letting the shoulders be soft, grounding down through that right standing foot to find your balance, maybe using a focal point in front of you. And take a full breath here. When you're ready, lowering the noodle back down if you had it up, turning the left knee to face front, bringing the left foot down to the pool floor. Let's give both legs a shake out. Let's ground back down into the left foot again, shifting the weight into the left leg. Coming up onto the right toes, turning the right knee out. Bringing the right foot in towards the standing left leg, back to our tree pose, but now we're also going to incorporate opening the right leg out to the side, working that right leg towards straight. So the right knee is opened out to the side, but instead of staying static with our right foot against the left leg, we're opening the right leg out to the side, working it towards straight. Using both hands on the noodle for support, firming up our balance, or a hand to the pool deck, whichever you prefer. And as needed, lifting the toes of the left foot off the floor to help you find that triangle of support again. But letting yourself wobble. Let's do one more on this side. And then turning the right knee to face front and releasing the right foot to the floor. Let's give the legs a shake out. And we'll switch sides. So now we're grounding down into the right foot, shifting the weight into the right leg, turning the left toes and knee out, bringing the left heel in towards the right leg, maybe pressing the left foot into the side of the right calf, and then extending the left leg, working it towards straight, opening it out to the left. Working at your own pace here, syncing up the breath and the movement. What differences, if any, are you becoming aware of side to side? Nothing to change about it. Just notice. Checking in with the shoulders, jaw and tongue, lips. Allowing them to soften. And if you fall out and lose your balance, just let's reset and start again. And treating the right and left sides independent. One leg maybe lifting higher than the other. You don't need to match the sides. Just let each side be its own experience. Let's do one more on this side. And bringing both feet back to the pool floor. We'll shake out the legs. And then this one you might want to grab your extra noodle for a bit of extra support here and buoyancy. Taking both of the noodles in front of you and under the armpits. You can tuck the arms down, kind of like wings, bend into the knees, and allow your weight to shift forward so that your feet are coming out behind you. We're starting to wind down towards our Shavasana, which will be our floating meditation. But we also want to warm up the body again, because when we start to come down to more static positions, it's a good chance for the body to get cold and get a little uncomfortable. So let's do breaststroke type arms and legs here. Using the buoyancy of the noodles so that you can bring your feet off the pool floor. But we're getting into a few of these bigger body movements again, to bring a little bit more warmth back into the body before we transition to our floating meditation. So taking some time to let the mind wind down. How does it feel to be moving your arms and legs, hands and feet through the water? What kind of sensations are you noticing? You can even reverse if you would like to switch things up. It doesn't really matter. Get curious, be willing to play here. Just warming up the limbs. So you can let it get really organic if you'd like. This is also a chance to move the body in any ways that it's asking for. You can even shift the weight a bit. If you're comfortable in the water, you might shift your weight back so the feet are out in front of you. But feel free to play. Coming back to our intention of exploring the known and the unknown. And as you feel ready, we can begin to move into our floating meditation, our Shavasana. Let's plant both feet on the pool floor, pressing into both feet to stand up. I'm going to give you a few different options here for a floating meditation where you can keep your head out of the water. So with 2 noodles, you're welcome to go back to the original noodle bicycle if that's something that you like. Again, to do that, you would thread 1 noodle between the legs. You could have the extra noodle out front like handlebars. Another option for the seated meditation, you can take this noodle and sit on it more like it's a swing or a side saddle type position. And then you can bring this top noodle behind you. And then lower down that way. You can continue to stay with both noodles under the armpits as well if you'd like. If that turtle position we did a few minutes ago was comfortable for you. I'm going to go with this option. So threading 1 noodle underneath the arms, we're sitting in the other noodle. You're welcome to have your hand on the pool deck if that extra support is helpful for you. You can feel free to float in the water, letting your toes and feet be in contact with the floor. You might also, I think I'm going to switch this around and I'm going to put my second noodle in front. I kind of like this better for today. So wherever you're at, try to find some ease and comfort. If you're feeling okay with being in the water, you feel safe to do so, you're welcome to close your eyes, or you might just prefer to simply soften the gaze down. Let the eyes rest, and then let's come into some stillness. Letting the senses be open to whatever's happening in your environment. Opening to sounds. There's no need to try to push the sounds away. Just allow them to exist alongside you. Starting to pick up on the natural rhythm of the breath. And as the body starts to settle, you might even start to notice a subtle lift of the body in the water on the inhale, and a settling of the body into the water on the exhale. Letting the body relax into the support of the water and your buoyancy with each exhale. Allowing your body to integrate this practice. And as different things draw your attention away from this moment, you can gently bring your awareness back to the rhythm of the breath. And you may do this again and again, and that's the practice. Bringing the attention back to your anchor with kindness, compassion, without any judgment. That's what minds do, they wander. So just gently bring it back. If working with the breath isn't supportive for you, experiment with focusing on some other neutral sensation of the body. Maybe feeling your feet bobbing on the pool floor. You could feel your hands on the surface of the water. There are a lot of options. So make this your own. You can rest here for the next couple moments, and I'll bring you out with 3 sounds of the bell. So you can start to invite some small movements back into the body. Maybe starting with the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, you can press into both feet, removing the noodle underneath of you and from behind or in front of you, setting the noodles off to the side. And then it's your chance to get any final movements in here, waking the body up in any way that feels good. If you'd like to join me to close, you can rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. This closing I'm going to share is from one of my teachers, Anna Guest Jelly of Curvy Yoga. May I greet my body with gentleness. May I soften when life invites me to harden. May I listen to my intuition with wisdom and trust it with ease. And may I appreciate my body a little more in this moment, just as it is. And then we can press the hands together in front of the heart. Let's take one breath together. We'll inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for choosing to share your time and your practice with me today. And many thanks to my water yoga teacher, Krista Fairbrother, again, who's given me permission to use the one noodle sequence from this book with a couple of my own adaptations. I will put a link in the comments in case you want to order this book from the author. I'm just about through it. I'm really enjoying it, and if you're interested in water yoga, I think this will be a great resource for you to have on hand. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.